Liam Manning knows how to win away games. Welcome back, everyone. Jack Reeve, Talk Norwich City. Portsmouth 1, Norwich City 2. Championship points underway. 2 away wins in a week. Oh my goodness. This is exciting, isn't it? That was really, really good fun for 60 minutes. And then it was incredibly stressful for the last 40. And I say 40 because of the 10 additional minutes at the end of the game. Harry Darling, Josh Sargent on the score sheet for Norwich City, but Vladan Kovacevic, very much the man of the match for Norwich City. A penalty save and some huge saves in and around that as well mean that Norwich City pick up all 3 points. It was a slightly changed lineup from the Millwall game. Manning sticking with 5 at the back, and we'll get on to that throughout the video. But on the most part, I think it worked. Nunez next to Topic, Wright dropped to the bench, and then Marcondes actually started. It was Marcondes, Sinats and Sargent. So a slightly changed team. I think the big talking point was the fact that we stuck with 5 defensive players. I thought that when Diallo was on, it looked quite balanced, and I think for the first half we were all over Portsmouth. I know the statistics, you can see there, they had 60% of the ball and way more shots, but the dominance really showed through in the second half for Portsmouth. It was the first half that Norwich really got a foothold in the game, and I thought were really good. They pressed high, there was an intensity about us. And actually the thing that pleased me most wasn't the sexy football, the nice passes, the switches across the field. It was taking advantage of set pieces. How often last season did we have so many good set pieces and just not ever do anything with them? Free kicks, corners, throw-ins. It feels like we are starting to take a bit more advantage of those. And that's a really good feeling, because that can be the difference between, arguably losing games and winning games in the Championship. And that was proven today. That was the difference between the two sides today. I don't think there was much difference in terms of overall play. The difference came because we scored a nice free kick that was diverted in by Darling and a sort of scrappy header from a throw-in from Josh Sargent. I need to talk about Harry Darling, because if it wasn't for Kovacevic, Darling would have been my man of the match. He just screams brilliant Championship footballer, doesn't he? Like, he is excellent in terms of his ability, his shithousery. There was a tackle late on that he just ended up laughing about post-match, where he has just rugby tackled someone. They've been through on goal, and he's gone in with the arms around the legs. Brilliant rugby challenge. Takes the booking, knew exactly what he was doing. Before, last season, we would have probably had Duffy just, flailing around and not doing a lot, and they run through and score the equaliser. Instead, we had someone there that, yes, slight bit of housery, but did what he needed to do in order for Norwich City to get the win. I thought he was absolutely excellent. I thought the header was delicious. We knew about his goal-scoring record as a defender when he joined, and that's starting to really shine through now. So that was great. I thought Cordoba had a pretty shaky first half. I said on the watch along, he's got these periods where he kind of goes into sort of a Mr. Tickle type vibe, where his limbs aren't quite working in function, and there are a few dodgy moments from him. Medic was, I thought, better today. He looked slightly more alert. There were a couple of really good blocks from him. I thought the midfield duo of Topic and Nunez first half was excellent, and I'm really hoping, I've not listened to the Liam Manning post-match interview, but I'm really hoping that this injury for Nunez isn't too serious. It looked like he kind of twisted his knee, which can sometimes be nasty. He came back on. He then went back off, but I thought Nunez was excellent, and has kind of thrown a spanner in the works somewhat, because I think most people thought that we would have been fine without him, with going with Topic and Wright. But actually, Norwich look a far better team when Marcelino Nunez is playing football. So it'll be interesting to see whether they really try and keep him in the side. Jack Stacey, I think he got a lot of space, and his engine is really ticking over nicely. And I think that's what Liam Manning likes, his work rate. And actually, Portsmouth just seemed to overload that left-hand side, and I thought Stacey was okay. I thought Fisher had a torrid time when he came on. I'm not sure if that was just him not quite getting into the game or just having lots to do, but he gave away the penalty. He was beaten quite a few times. So I think after that showing, Jack Stacey will probably be the starting player in that position for the next league game as well. Josh Sargent doing what Josh Sargent does, scoring goals, still looks happy, still looks very much, interested in being part of this side. Sitting here recording on the 16th of August, still no concrete links with anyone. Leeds have now signed Calvert-Lewin. Burnley have signed Broja. Wolfsburg seemingly not made any new contact. So it's becoming more likely that Josh Sargent stays here. But, could have scored more than one. Had a couple of decent one-on-one opportunities that he'll probably be disappointed that he didn't tuck away. But look, it wasn't a pretty second half, and I think we were actually quite fortunate to walk away with all 3 points in the end. They hit the crossbar, they missed a penalty, they missed another good chance. I think their fans will be absolutely gutted that they've not picked up anything there. I mean, they had 19 shots, a hell of a lot of corners, more possession, but how often as Norwich fans have we sat here going, oh my God, we've had all the ball, we've had loads of shots, and we've not won the game. It's really, really nice to be sat here as a Norwich fan going, we didn't play incredibly for the whole game. We took our chances, we were incredibly efficient, and we squeezed everything we could out of that performance. And we took all 3 points away from home. Brilliant. I thought Watford on Tuesday was actually a better performance than tonight. Portsmouth was sloppy for our 2 goals, but I'm sat here talking about 2 away wins in a week. I mean, that's bloody brilliant, isn't it? That's absolutely brilliant. We've got options off the bench. I like that. Look, I don't think all of the substitutes were perfect, but the fact you could bring on Schwartau, Wright, Fisher, Kvistgaard and Schlurp is a hell of an upgrade on last year. And I said on the watch along, like, if we'd have kept Angus Gunn, if we'd have given him a new contract, I think every single Norwich City fan would have been content with that. I think there were a lot of people unhappy that he wasn't given a new contract. Actually, we've just upgraded our player. Like, we've upgraded in a position that we didn't even know needed upgrading. We've gone out, we've signed in pretty much every area. And I think on the most part, every player that we've signed has been better than the previous. That's really pleasing. I can see a little bromance forming between those 3 centre-backs and Kovacevic. There was a big hug at the end between Cordoba, Medic and Darling. And I think Darling is that glue that holds them all together, and I really like that. I think the left-back and the right-back, that is the area that needs work, that needs tweaking. I still don't know if 5 at the back is the system. It's still super early to say. I think I preferred the balance from what I saw against Watford when we were 4 at the back. And I think today, I probably, instead of going Kvistgaard for Sargent on that substitute, I would have liked to have seen Jovan Makama come on, because I think we just lacked a little bit of physicality at the end there. We really struggled to keep the ball. The midfield pair, I thought, could have done a little bit better. I think Wright could have, got on the ball and made a bit more of an influence. I think that Topic weaned off ever so slightly towards the end. But all in all, this is still early days, right? And at this part, you just want to see buy-in. You want to see buy-in from fans and you want to see buy-in from players. My goodness, we've got both. Manning is rallying those troops, and Manning is getting a serious reaction out of the fans in a good way, right? Everyone's on board. Everyone sees the vision. They want it to work. And you can go a long way. You can go a long way on just support from fans and players buying in, vice versa. It's ultimately been the downfall of Wagner, and it was the downfall of Johannes Oftorp. When you lose trust from either of those sections, it's game over. Complete game over. But Manning has the trust from players, and he has the trust from board level, and he has the trust from fans. And yes, to continue that trust, you will need to keep layering onto performances and picking up victories, but it's been a great start. It was a good performance in the week against Watford, and it was a good performance here today. We've bounced back from a pretty tough start against Millwall. It wasn't an ideal performance. I think we were deservedly beat that day. It could have gone south quickly. If you'd have been beaten in the cup against Watford and then beaten today, and then you've got a couple of tough fixtures coming up. You've got Middlesbrough up next, and then Southampton in the cup, and then it's Blackburn and Coventry away, and then it's Wrexham. It's a tough run of form. You could have been in a position where things were unravelling, but instead, we've picked up the pieces, we've gone again, we've tweaked the format slightly, we've brought in some of these new players, and it's working really nicely. And that's the really nice thing. As I was sat there watching it today, we had depth. I was looking at the bench and I was going, yeah, I can see where the changes are coming. And there's good players to bring on. If you're Chris Garden, you're going, how am I not starting? If you're Jovan Makama, you're desperate to start. You've got options. And that's a really pleasing thing. Was this the perfect performance? No. Was the second half performance poor? Yes. But Norwich have found a way to win. They've done enough. We've found the hero in Big Bad Vlad, in Vladan Kovacevic. You've seen another good performance out of Papa Amadou Diallo. You've got your goal from Josh Sargent. Harry Darling chipping in with goals. Other areas of this pitch chipping in with goals. We were so reliant on Borja Sainz and Josh Sargent's goals last year. You look at this last week. Sargent, yes, granted, scores goals, water's wet. Nunes chipping in. Harry Darling chipping in. That's good to see. That's really good to see. So this was a good win. 2 away wins in a week. We now come back to Carrow Road for a couple of games. The mood is good. I've seen some brilliant videos from that away end. It looked like it was bouncing. There is a feel-good factor back in the air at Carrow Road. And as I say, that can take you a long way. Who knows if we'll keep Josh Sargent? Who knows if we'll keep Marcelino Nunes? But the most important thing is this system is starting to look nice. Manning's got buy-in. Manning looks up for it. And those new signings, Darling, Medic, Topic, Diallo, all looking sharp. All looking sharp. I think we've signed well. I really do. I think we've signed well. Portsmouth 1, Norwich City 2. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. It was a brilliant watch along. Thanks to everyone that joined. I'm going to try and do a lot more of those this season. So, look, subscribe to Talk Norwich City. So much content coming up. And look, I think this is going to be a really fun season. Have a brilliant rest of your weekend. That's the joy with the early kickoffs. You can win and then you can go away and have a few Lakens and enjoy yourself. Thanks again, and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye-bye.